Okay, so just so you know, my voice, I am better, but my voice is still going in and out a bit. So I might have to cough, clear my throat. Try not to do it in the microphone. So, oh, you can hear it starting to go now. So I've got this list. This list. This is you guys. This is the other class. So we've got Gru, Eggman, Iron Man, and art supplies. So if there's anything else you want to add, write it on the list. And we're just going to go through and see what we can do, what we can get to today. So we'll start off with Gru. Dennis. Okay. Let's get some reference for Gru up. And we'll start with him. Do you want to do old Gru or young Gru? And you want to draw Sonic. Yeah, which one? Old Gru or young Gru? So young Gru or old Gru. Look at this one. That's creepy. Dennis says young. Who else says young? Thumbs up for young. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and thumbs up for old. 1, and Ethan didn't vote. All right, so we're going to do young Gru. So give me a second. Oh no, it's opening a video. I don't want to open a video. Digital Gru. Yeah. All right. Oh, the first picture that comes up is him in the bathtub naked. We don't want that. All right. So Gru, he's sort of a bean shape. So we start with a sort of a circle for where the head's going to go. And then we'll curve down and turn that into like a bit of a bean shape. Metal Sonic? That's just regular Sonic, but he's metal. Oh, what you're going to draw? Okay, Dennis, this is the one we're going to draw. That one. All right. So we'll start off with the head shape and the body shape. Probably curved it a bit more than it needs to be curved. And then we're going to do stick figure legs coming down. And we can do sort of a triangle where his feet are going to go. Like that. Now, under his head, he's got his scarf that he always wears. So we'll sort of cut off the bottom of his head and then draw another line. It's like that. And we'll rub out the bit of the head we cut off. And over here is going to be his shoulder. His other shoulder's here. And we're going to draw his arms folded. And I always found that really hard to draw when I was younger. So we're going to come down to one elbow. So I'll get a bit closer so you can see. There we go. So this is where his elbow is going to be. And then this one's folding up and his hand's going to be there. So the other arm's coming down underneath the hand. And it's to the elbow and it's going to go up. Excuse me. Cross them. So there's like an X in the middle. And then the hand's going to go underneath that arm. So we'll work on this a bit. We'll start up at the shoulder. I'm going to press a bit harder so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to draw this arm all the way down to the elbow. and then rub out everything between that. And then I'm going to move over to this forearm. So not the forearm on the arm we're drawing, not this one, the opposite forearm. I'm going to start up here and draw his little sleeve, a little cuff on his sleeve. And then I'm going to come back to that elbow and maybe up a little bit and rub out the inside of that one. Got reason. Sorry, is that Dubai? I can't tell. Okay, so from this arm, I'm then going to draw the elbow and come up underneath the second arm. Let's put up cuff in his sleeve. And from this sleeve end we drew, we can put in his hand. His hand's sort of sticking down. You can see his fingers sticking down the other side. All right, now before we go up this arm, we need to draw the other hand. So we've got an arm coming up and the other hand coming over. Draw a bit of the sleeve and a few other fingers just curling around like that. And this over. And if you're waiting, you can just add some shape to the scarf and draw in some black lines because it's stripy. It's gray and black. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to move down the body. His coat sort of sticks up a bit. Then there's a button here, and then it comes down the other side. And then he's got, I think it's a t-shirt, hangs down a little bit. Like that. Then it's his pants. His pants don't go all the way down. So you can see a little bit of his sock. So a little bit of his leg. And then he's got a heeled boot on. So it comes down at the front, a heel at the back, down again, and then it rounds end. So this one's facing forward a bit, so we're not going to see as much heel. Just a little at the back there. And the back. You can draw laces on those if you want. Or you could just color them in black. Oh, so shavers here. He does have a pocket on this jacket as well. You might see a little bit of one on that side. Okay, so we're going to move to his. Oh, before we go to his face, he's got a bit of his scarf hanging down here, and a bit that's a little bit longer at the back. So you can add stripes to that too. Okay, so we're going to move on to his face. Is everyone ready to do his face? Robert says no. Emily says no, and her brother. I can't remember your brother's name. Emily and I want to say Kyle. I don't think that's right though. Why are you saying no, Jasper? You ready for the face? Yeah, Ethan is. I'm slowly moving it up. All right, so up in the face. Let's zoom in a little bit. Oh, I zoomed in so much I can't actually draw there now. It's too close. Okay, so his face is a bit curved, so that's going to be the middle of his face. And where his eyes are, it's sort of up a bit higher, like that. So this is roughly where his nose is going to come from, and his eyes are up there. So down to that line, you can sort of draw in his head, and then he's got a bit of a cheek sticking out. And then over on this side, he's got an ear. Okay, so I'm going to draw circles for his eyes, but I'm not going to use the whole circle. So one there, and this one's slightly smaller. And then we need to do his eyelids, which is slightly curved like that. Like that. I'm drawing his, well, before we do his eye there, we're going to do his nose. So he's got a long, pointy nose, sort of coming in here. It goes back like a beak. And it's got a nostril underneath. Now with those eyelids, I'm not going to trace the whole section of it. Where's my small list? I'm going to rub out some sections under the nose. And so we're going to do one eye in the middle of this one, the iris and the pupil, and one eye to the side. So it looks like he's sort of looking at you. It's a bit crooked. And then his smile sort of goes from the middle of one eye to the middle of the other eye. And it's sort of straight with a little curve on the ends. Okay, then we just need to do his eyebrows and his hair. So this eyebrow is a little slanted and thicker in the middle. And this one is sort of raised a little, still thicker in the middle, on the middle of the face. Okay, so now for his hair, it starts down here, sort of in front of his ear. And then he's got a few little spiky bits sticking out. And then it sort of curves over, a bit of a bump, and then down around the side of his face. Like that. So that is Gru. Let's zoom out now. There we go. And if you want to draw one of these minions, they're about, I think they're about this high when he's a little kid. I can't remember what the feet look like. There you go. Gru and a minion. Okay. Oh, sorry for coughing. All right. Let's see everyone's Gru actually when you're done. I'll check them out. Turn around. Sort of see. What are you doing, Ethan? Oh, yeah, that's good. That's great. He's got really big feet. I can't see that one's very far away. How about Rizan? Are you going to show me? You going to hold something up? Oh, there we go. Emily's brother. That's great. Because you don't have your name in there and I can't remember your name. I'm sorry. Jasper, that's pretty good. Oh, you drew a minion too. Nice. All right. So the next thing we've got on the list is Eggman. Now, do we want to do Eggman from the games, or do you want to do Eggman from the movie? Oh, Robert, that's really cool. I like that. Good job. Well, has everyone seen the Sonic movie? Let's go. Sonic, Robotnik. Excuse me. Robotnik. Dr. Robotnik is also Eggman. They're the same people. So this is Eggman from the movie, this guy. And this is what he looks like from the game. It's not even like this. So it needs a few different looks. One look he was like that, one he was like that. So which would you prefer to do? Eggman from Games is Jasper. What else have we got? The game ones. Second movie. None. Okay. Well, it's going to be the game one. Sorry, Dennis. Majority rules at Brilliant Kids in my classroom. Okay, so Robotnik. Find a decent picture of him or Eggman. When he first came out, he was very circular. When he was originally called Eggman. I think just do one where he's standing. Okay, that's good. Okay, so this is what we're going to draw. This one. That Eggman or Dr. Robotnik. So it's still a big egg shape with a head on top. All right, so first thing we're going to draw is that egg shape. So fat on the bottom, thin on the top. And sort of find the middle point. It's going to be there. Like the line that runs down his belly. So his belly button would be there, his chest is up here. I said that as I was scratching my belly. What have the chat? Where is it? There it is. Dennis, the what version of him? The Ferret version of him. You mean the film version? The first version. Oh, the original version. He looks like this in the original version. Look more like that. So it's just a circle. We're drawing one that looks like this, not that one. So yeah, got one. Okay, we've got his. He is very fat. Well, he's an egg man. He's a man made of egg, or egg shaped. So on the top here, we're going to draw his head, and his head's sort of at a different angle, sort of goes this way, because he's leaning his head forward to an angle. Because his mustache is going out inside. Here we're going to have his shoulder, and his arm is going behind his back. You can sort of see his hand behind his back. Before we do his other one, we're going to do his legs. Now, sort of from the middle, one leg's coming down, the other leg's coming sort of straightish, and then he's got very big curved feet, and this one sort of curves out this way. So I'll just pull out so you can see proportions. See how big those clown feet are? I'm just holding the camera up with my pencil so I can have a drink. Okay, so he's holding his mustache with his other hand. So we'll just draw a circle for now for his hand. And his arms sort of going like that. Dennis, your cat avatar looks like it has a broken neck. The way when you're drawing, I think. Its head was bent all the way over. All right, has everyone got all that roughed out planning stage done? Yeah. You're right, Jasper. Okay, so let's we'll do a little bit of detail on his body. So do a little curve here, about 2/3 of the way up. And that's his shirt and his pants from underneath. So this is the end of his shirt, but then he's got these dangly bits come down like that and like that. And you've got a big button. And then this one comes down, sticks out a bit, and it's got a big button on there too. And they actually curve around and then come down, hang down at the back. You can see them hanging down. So this one curves around to that back, and this one curves around to that back. Okay, so while we're doing that, let's move down to the pants. He doesn't have, no, it looks like his pants or his boots are all one shape. So they get a bit thicker here at the ankle area, and then they thin up to his body. Do both legs like that. And you can rub out in between, like the original line we drew, the stick figure line. Just gonna thin that one up a bit. Okay. Now down on his ankles, he's got a big metal button there. So there's one on this side. And you might be able to see a little bit of the other one on this side. Then we can finish off the shoe and then add a little heel and the sole. And then he's got where the laces would be, there's just like a metal section. So this one comes down and gets wider at the front. Oh, it came down way too far. And they're all black. So there we go, that's his legs done. Then we're going to move on to his top half. So is everyone done with his legs? Nope, Robert's still going, Nathan's done, Emily's done, Jasper's still going. Dennis, you shake or nod, which one? You ready to go? I think that was a nod. It's hard to tell with that cat avatar. All right, so I'm going to move it up slowly. If there's something you missed out on, you can watch the recording because all these episodes, all these classes are recorded. Okay, so let's skip his body. We're going to go up to his head. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Now he's got a big nose, but it's doesn't look quite as big because it's almost front on, but it's a bit of a triangle shape with a nostril on both sides. You probably can't see the nostril on the other side. Sorry, I didn't realize it wasn't in shot. And then he's got like glasses, but they've like squished into his face. So he has these very round eyes. You can do a little shine on them. But then sort of his eyebrows sit and sort of hold them in place. Well, he doesn't really have eyebrows, actually. It's just his, so as if it's shaved off his eyebrows and the skin is pushing them down. I'll rub out some of these lines for you. Now, his mustache is long and shaggy. So it sort of comes out in like a big spiky brush, but don't do it all on this side because that's where his hand's going to be holding it. But this side, you can sort of make it stick out like that. And on this side where his hand is, let's draw in his little finger. So I sort of straightened it off first with 1, 2, 3 little joints in it. Then we can copy that shape to do the next finger. So 2, and the next finger, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then the fourth finger is going to sort of be out a bit wider on its own, like that. And just rub out inside lines. And the last finger we need is his thumb, which should be under this finger. And that's sort of pulling his mustache out, sort of pulling it and twisting it. So I'll just shade in where his mustache is. Oh, camera shaking. So here's a big cuff on his hand, on his jacket as well, big yellow cuff, which is what we're going to do next. So we're going to draw the hole in the sleeve where the arm comes through. And then the cuff sort of, it's a bit of a cylinder we're drawing. You might see a bit of his elbow and his arm. No, we haven't finished his head. So under his mustache, do a little bit of his mouth with some teeth in it. And then his sort of chin area. And then on top of his head, he has goggles. So just make them up how you want. I think his have a couple of layers in them like that. And you might see a little hint of his ear down there. Okay, before we move on to his other arm, let's use this line to put in his, I guess it's a zipper. Basically the same as the pattern on his boot. And then he's got two white stripes with a yellow box on the end. So to make his body look a bit more three-dimensional, we could rough them in and go curve them around his body. Put in the little yellow clampy bits. And we just want the bits to go sort of on the side and around the back. So we can rub out the lines for the other ones. Okay, so we've just got one arm left to do. So we'll start up at his shoulder. We'll thicken up the arm. So we'll go around where we want the shoulder to be and then thicken up around the stick figure line that we drew. All the way down to where his cuff would be. And we can draw that as a hole that the arm goes into. And then we'll rub out the insides of all that. He does, it's a red jacket. He does have a white stripe that goes down the outside. And that sort of starts at the shoulder. But as it comes down, it actually comes onto this side. So let's draw it around. And I think it's got that stripes on it like the other, like the front of his jacket. And then the last thing is just to draw his fingers. Oh, keep tapping with him. Just to draw his fingers coming out. Put fingers in there, and we're done. So I'll give you a few minutes to finish up. Oh wow, Jasper, that's a massive mustache. Ethan, that's good. Good job. Well, there's my one. Turn my angle so you can see a little bit better. Robert, did you give him a top hat? Looks like he's got a top hat on. That was good, Emily, too. All right. How are you going, Atticus? Did you finish? Yep. All right. So we've got about 15 minutes left. And the next thing we've got to draw is Iron Man. So I don't know if we're going to have time for that. I might have to do a simplified one, cartoony Iron Man. I'm just looking for some Iron Man reference. You can draw the original Iron Man suit. Let's see, and then was his original suit. Oh yeah, it's a lot simpler. Let's try that one. Okay, so we're not going to draw a movie Iron Man. We're not drawing this one. We're going to draw this one from the comic books. But we might just do his head and shoulders, I think. So we're going to run out of time. Okay, so let's get a circle for the top of his head. We'll come down. Let's go around that off a bit to get his head shape, and then we'll rub out that circle. Oh, just the bottom circle. Draw a line right down the middle, top to bottom. And then find halfway and draw a line through halfway. So halfway point is where we're going to draw his eye spots. And you can actually draw his eyes in there if you wanted to. Zoom a bit. So there's no nose area, but down about this area there's a mouth. That's just a rectangle. And then we can find where his chin's going to go. You see, I did show you, Janice, but you're not paying attention. We're drawing this guy with just his head and shoulders. Okay. So we need to, that's Janice, that's one of the original, it's the original Iron Man from the comics. So I'm just going to come up past the eyes and she'll do a curve all the way over like this. I thought his eye a bit close there, but anyway, tighten it up a bit. So it's a bit of a hood, but it's actually just to shine the shadow. So then this is the red part on the outside, and just below the eyes, we're going to draw the ear bits that cover his ears. And then just above the mouth where the cheeks are, we'll draw lines coming in. Then they go down and join the chin. So you can put some little lines like shadows on there, and also do a little curve in here, but not all of it, because this is going to be a little shadow. And then up here, just near that bit, near that little squiggle I did, we can do a few little lines together like that, so it shows that it's shiny in that area. And you can also do some little shadowy bits near the eyes, and even down here under the chins, under the cheeks, I should say. Okay, so we come down a little bit on one side of his neck, just here. Then we're going to draw sort of a bit of a circle, a bit lopsided, because you're only seeing it in on one side, and turn it into a ring. So we're going to draw another line just next to it. And that's because he has a sort of a hole in his helmet where his head comes through, and this is the edge to it. So on that we can draw some shadowy bits on either side. This is sort of like hatching what I'm doing there. And then the neck is actually has several rings around it as well. And we can do some shading on these. Okay, we're going to draw a bit of his shoulder, not his shoulder, but the back of his back, basically. And then Shadow from Amulet, Shadow the Hedgehog. We're almost out of time. This is the last thing we're going to draw today, Dennis. So this is a little bit that goes on the side before his arm comes out. So that's his arm there. Is Amulet a comic? I'm going to do that on the other side as well. Okay, I think I know what Amulet is, but I'm not sure who Shadow is. A little bit of shading there. And so the rest of this is just a little bit of shading. Some lines there, a bit thick now and again. Here's some thicker bits, and then some thinner bits. And here it's almost one big thick bit. And over on his shoulder here, he's got another shine. That, do his other arm on this side. And it's just adding some little highlights, things here and there. And as we come down the chest, there's instead of the arc reactor, he does have a big circle here with a rim on it. So this bit in here is a window of glass or something. And then we can shade in some of this. And then he's got other little connector bits. Look like little circles as well. Right up top. So again, just shading in a few little bits. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, I haven't read it enough to know. I'd have to look it up. And that is pretty much it for what we're going to draw today anyway, because we're running out of time. So I just sort of drew down to his pectoral muscles. It's a bit lopsided. But it just shows where his what am I saying? This is showing where his armholes come down to. So his arms sort of here, here, like that. His body does continue down further. His other arm. So doing this kind of shading, it was done a lot in the older comics, like the original comics, and it's a lot easier than doing some of the modern day shading. There's a bunch, if you know how to do hatching and stuff, there's a lot of just hatching happening, which is pretty easy to do because you're just sort of scrawling and scribbling on things and then blending them in with a few little lines and things like that. So there's old school Iron Man. So this is all red and the outside of his helmet's red and inside's yellow, his arms are yellow, and inside here is yellow. I don't have any colors here to show you. Actually, I could just grab a couple of minutes for you guys to finish up. That's a highlight. All right, I've got a marker here. It's got a brush tip on it. It's not going to work too well on the paper, so it will soak through. So let's see. That's yellow, that's yellow. I'm doing it sort of fast as well. That's all the yellow bits. A different marker for the red. It's running out, so it's a bit pink. It's very pink. There's going to be a magenta man, I think. It's not great coloring in. I'm going to throw that marker out, I think. That one's dead. Okay, so let's see your Iron Man drawings. Ethan, that's pretty good. Oh, you did his hands too. Jasper, that's great. Good job. Robert, let's see. Oh, that's really good, Robert. Really good. Since you didn't have a picture to copy from, you're just copying off mine. Oh, Emily, that's great. Yeah, good job. Keep coloring it in. All right, I think we are done for now. Oh, I didn't say through to me. That is it for today, guys. So that is it for our for the term. Pardon me. That is our last lesson for the term. I've got one more lesson after this with another class, and that's it. So yeah, you have to be in contact with Brilliant Kids to find out about next term. I'll be back if there's more classes. Otherwise, if you need to contact me otherwise, you can just look up Art Noobs, which if I turn this up, I think you'll see it. Oh no, this one. Let's go. Boom. There you go. Art Noobs. ARTNEWBS. You can find me on Instagram. And if you need to ask me any questions or anything like that, I'll just turn this back on. Bam. All right. So yeah, are you there, Peter?
Yeah, thank you. This is the last class of the term. I hope you enjoyed the class, and thank you. Enjoy your holiday.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you.
Bye.
Say thank you, Mr. Evan.
Thank you, Mr. Ethan. Bye.